there are a number have been challenging the companies and also um, by the media generally. And the narrative that we're being fed by the media generally is not reality, and it's not practical in what they're saying. And there are eminent pediatricians, eminent in their field, award-winning in some cases, who have spoken out concerning the way governments are dealing with this COVID-19, that it's excessive and it's not practical. And they've come under investigation by their local health authorities. Some of them are in danger of losing their jobs. And what has happened is communism has come to the medical profession in the West, where if you are a medical professional and you don't agree with the general prevailing narrative that the media is giving out and the World Health Authority, which, by the way, has contradicted itself a number of times. So the World Health Authority has made statements and then on COVID-19 and then changed its statements and contradicted itself. And yet anybody else who speaks out and says anything about COVID-19, if you write a book, Amazon or YouTube will pull you down if you've written it on COVID-19. If you're an eminent pediatrician, an eminent medical professional, and you speak out, then you are cancelled in the cancel culture. And so this video is saying, well, wait a minute, the medical profession has been influenced by the Socratic method, where as a medical professional, you're there to ask questions. You're there for the Hippocratic Oath to look after your patients, and you're there to ask questions and to find out what's the root cause of the medical condition and what is the best way forward. And this suppression of free speech amongst the medical profession is stopping medical professionals asking key questions, which is putting people in danger. It's endangering people's lives when medical professionals are not allowed to ask the questions they need to ask, whether it be about vaccines, whether it be about any research that's been done on COVID-19, etc., whether the media or governments put information out, or the World Health Authority, and they ask questions, the validity of what's being said. Medical professionals have the right to ask these questions. It's the Socratic method. And the fact that communism has invaded the medical profession in the West, and when I mean communism, this Stasi cancel culture where if you say anything, you're going to lose your job, you're going to be under investigation. The Socratic method has to be conducted. The medical professionals have to be allowed to ask the questions. And I'm afraid that there are probably, if we research, there's probably thousands and thousands of doctors and medical professionals around the world that don't agree with the prevailing narrative that's being pushed by the World Health Authority and by certain key governments and certain political parties. And they're afraid to speak out because if they for culture, they will be investigated by the local authorities. This is happening. There's one pediatrician in America, a very eminent pediatrician, who has won awards as the best in his area as a pediatrician, and he's under investigation for speaking out. Um, and other eminent, credible medical staff, incredible medical people who have done incredible research, credible service to their communities, and they're under investigation. Now, this far left agenda that seems to have infiltrated the West, they're absolutely determined, no matter what, to crush all opposition and to make sure that their narrative is pushed on COVID-19 or whatever. And all I can say is, it's going to ruin democracy. It's going to destroy democracy. It's already destroying the health medical profession in America and in Britain and around the West. It's been infected by communism. If you can't question, A, you're endangering your patients, which is your first priority to protect your patients. And B, you are implicit in the destruction of your own profession. So every medical professional has to stand together. It's not about politics. It's about the patients. It's not about politics. Forget your Democrats and Republicans. It's about patients at the end of the day. It's about people. And this COVID-19 has politicized the medical profession in the West, and it's not a good thing. It's a very, very, very dangerous time to go down. So I would encourage every medical professional to speak out and to stand together, work together, and to drop the politics. There are people who've been on the side of the main narrative, eminent professionals, medical professionals, that have woken up to realize that they were just saying things they shouldn't have been saying. They were just being pushing a narrative that was uh, being fed to them, and they've come out and said that they're no longer going to go along with this narrative. The social media, the far left, and these neo-Marxists who are using Black Lives Matter as a cloak are using COVID-19 as a political whipping boy to control people in the West. And people can't give up asking questions. That the fact that there is censorship, what brain, what mind is YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and the woke mob? What planet are they on? What planet are they on? Censoring free speech concerning COVID-19. What planet are they on? What planet are they on? I mean, what planet are you on if you agree with that? The First Amendment in America, the American Constitution gives you the right to the freedom to think, freedom to think. And we're not talking about dangerous things here. We're talking about medical professionals who are the best in their field, who have won awards, speaking out and saying it as it really is about COVID-19, completely demolishing the mainstream media's meta-narrative, and they're being cancelled out by the cancel culture. What planet are you on? What planet are you on? And what humongous damage you're doing to the medical profession in the West. But not only the medical profession in the West, the whole Western Hemisphere democracy has been destroyed and taken over by neo-Marxists. The communists have arrived, the barbarians are at the gates, and it's been a takeover, and people need to wake up. And the way to wake up is to ask questions and not to be afraid to ask questions. And as a medical professional, you should not be afraid to ask. We've got, what planet is Twitter on? What planet is what planet? You're willing to destroy the democracies in West? Do you so much? Do you hate your own country so much that you'll destroy them no matter what? Is that what it's all about? What planet are you on? You need to wake up, because if you don't wake up, Britain and America and Australia and Canada, they're going to be desolate third world countries destroyed by civil war, because people were just going to have to react against this eventually. So please, I'm begging the far left, I'm begging the socialist, I'm begging who are really communist, I'm begging you to stop this. This is madness. You're taking the world into oblivion. You need to stop it. You need to pull back. You need to pull back, because you're taking the West on the brink of destruction. And you've destroyed the medical profession in America. And what kind of a countries are we living in when top professionals, top pediatricians, top people in the game speak out and they're under investigation? What kind of world are we living in? We've lost the free world, folks. And the medical profession is one of the bastions of thinking, the bastions of free thought, where people actually think and actually ask questions, and they're being trammeled, they're being clamped down on for asking questions. It's not good, folks. This is really, really dangerous, dark times, I'm telling you. We're on the brink of oblivion in the West. We need to wake up, and there needs to be a massive defense in America of the American Constitution. Everybody needs to rally around Donald Trump and defend the American Constitution before it's too late. Because, boy, we're in a battle for our lives, folks. We're in a battle for our lives. The medical profession has been collapsed in America and in the West. It's been taken over by communists. These trials where you're trying pediatricians who are eminent in their field, the best in their field, who have won awards, and you're putting them on trial. This is Stasi communist stuff. This is communism. This is communism where they put you on trial because you're speaking out against. This is not democracy. This is not freedom. No freedom of religion. Churches can't meet. If they do meet, they can't sing. This isn't democracy. This is Stasi communism. This is dark days, folks. People need to wake up. This is a nightmare that's come upon us, and we don't even know it's come upon us. And we need to wake up before it's too late. People need to speak out. People, books taken down by Amazon. I mean, you might as well say if a book's taken down on Amazon because it was written about China by Ezra Levant or some Morel on Covid-19, that's the same as Chairman Mao and the communists burning books in the streets, burning Bibles in the streets. Communism has come to the West, and communism has taken over, and we don't even realize it. People need to wake up. This Covid-19, people should be allowed to think and ask questions, and this censorship has to stop. It has to stop now. So there are Republicans, not just Democrats, but Republicans getting big money from Google, millions of pounds, millions of dollars, yeah? And some of these Republicans are saying with their mouth, oh yeah, we need to stop Google, we need to stop Facebook, we need to stop Twitter, we need to stop them from censoring. But yet they're taking millions of dollars off Google. So it needs to stop now. These Republicans who are Judases, you need to drop your Judas mentality and start backing the president of the United States of America, because America is on the brink of becoming a third world country, and America needs to defend its amendment rights and defend those amendment rights every tooth and nail. Every American person needs to get out and stand up for their country and defend their constitution, because this is not right. This is ridiculous. People have to fight and stand up and kick a fuss, because the free world is at risk here. The free world is at risk. This is no game. The free world is at risk. If the medical profession has gone down throughout the free world, God help us. So please, American people rights, the free world to be protected. If you go down, we all go down. So I'm begging the American people, you need to make a stand for the American Constitution. Every patriot of America needs to rise up now and defend the rights. There should be no intimidation of medical staff or any especially eminent medical staff who are professionals in this area. They're professionals in this area. They know what they're talking about. They should not be silenced. They should be allowed freely to speak and to say what they have to say concerning whatever they feel they need to say. Not be put under investigation. Any investigation that's going on in any of these professionals needs to be stopped, and stopped right now. The president needs to stamp down on it now. This is censorship, and it must stop. And it must stop now. Medical staff have a right to protect their patients, and they have a right to be apolitical, that is neutral politically, and politicizing the medical profession is one of the most disgusting and wicked things that has happened in our modern times by the far left. To weaponize the medical staff and make them into political tools of your neo-Marxism is one of the most wicked and vicious, evil acts that's been perpetrated in our Western civilization in the last 5 to 6 months with this Covid-19 and the World Health Authority and all the nonsense that they keep saying, and then they keep backtracking. They say stuff and then they backtrack. They say stuff, they backtrack. And it's all run by China. World Health Authority is run by China. Okay? So let's get some consistency here. We need to defend our rights and our freedoms, and we need to know what's really going on with COVID-19. We need to really know. We want to hear from the professionals, those who really know, who have said things and been silenced. We want to read the documentation the research that has been done on things that can help us and protect us from COVID-19, not Google taking the PDF down of research that's been done. Professional research by professionals and the best in their field, and Google takes those PDFs down. It's not on. It's not on. I'm sorry. It's not on. It's not on. There should be none of that. And if Google, if YouTube, if Facebook, if any of these tech companies are silencing people, then I'm sorry, people have to fight them and stand up against them. And the President of the United States of America, they don't have special privileges, these television companies. If you can sue them, but you can't sue Google, you can't sue Facebook, you can't sue Twitter. They have special amenity. They're not you can't go after them. Those laws need to be changed so that people can go after these tech companies and give them a legal bloody nose, because they're destroying our democracy and they're destroying the medical profession. You can't play God with people's lives. You can't play God with medical research, keeping medical research down and not allowing people to look at these PDF documents that those who are professional and at the best of the best have done their research, and then you pull it down and people can't look at it, and then you demonize anybody, any pediatrician or professional who's won awards, who say that this is good research, and then you stop them. It's not on. I'm sorry, but it's not on. We're not here to play games. This isn't a game. This isn't a game for your socialist lust for power that you'll get it no matter what. I'm sorry. This is about people's lives. This is about economies that are being crushed because of COVID-19 and because of the policies that World Health Authority and governments have been making based on media sensationalism, media control, when we want to hear the facts. We want to know the facts. And you're silencing people who are giving us the facts, and enough is enough. That has to be the biggest kickback in the history of civilization. Again, stop. It's got every Democrat mayor, every mayor, every politician, every senator in America has to stand up against this and stop it now. This is too much. President Donald Trump has to do something about this. Vice President Pence has to do something about this. This has to stop now. It has to stop now. And it must stop now, because the medical profession have been silenced. There are thousands of doctors in America, just America alone, let alone the free world, that want to speak out, that want to say, there's research here that can help us. There's this way of dealing with COVID-19. And they're frightened to say anything, because there's some eminent ones that have already spoken out, and they're under trial from their local health authorities that have been weaponized by far left nut jobs who feel that weaponizing, politicizing medical profession is a good idea. It's not a good idea, folks. It's a bad idea. The best idea is the medical profession use the Socratic method and are allowed to think for themselves and allowed to ask questions, whether it upsets the Democrats or the Republicans or whatever political party. They should just be allowed to ask questions, and their priority is not politics but to protect the people. That's their oath, the Hippocratic oath, to protect the people, to protect their patients. They have no loyalty ultimately to the Republican Party or to the Democrats. They have a loyalty to their patients and to ask questions. And every medical staff in the world today has to all I'm saying is let the professionals think. That's all I'm saying. That's all this video is saying. The Socratic method. This video is saying, let people use the Socratic method in their medical work, and don't silence or put them on trial or deplatform them or cancel them or whatever. Let people think. Yeah. Let people ask questions in the medical sphere. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. Some of them are eminent. Some of them have been serving 30, 40 years in their various medical fields, and they're not allowed to ask questions and to speak. Come on, this is just ridiculous. This has got to stop. This has gone beyond madness. This has gone beyond crazy. This has gone beyond. This is not a joke. This is seriously seriously beyond crazy. It's beyond crazy. And it has to stop now before we end up in some kind of nightmare situation where we're third world countries, where our countries are our nations are decimated by this nonsense that's going on. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, God help us with you. You've got to stop this. You've got to stop. Now, you multi people, you built your platforms on free speech. People joined it because they thought it was free speech, and now you've turned on people, and now you're into nation building. You're into politicizing the medical staff, the medical profession in the West. You're into taking away free speech and reshaping democracy into some kind of socialist utopia, which really is just another. It really is communism at the end of it. You know, look at the history of Yugoslavia. What happened at Yugoslavia? It happened the same. The communists wanted to take over, so they said they were socialists, and then they said that at the end of the day, you know, they caused division between religions. They couldn't use the race situation because there wasn't a lot of black people, so they caused division, and cities were cordoned off and became no-go areas, just like it's happening in America. And then civil war broke out, and then the socialists, i.e. communists, came in and said we can save the day, and lo and behold, that's what they did, and that's what's happening in America. So, you know, things have got to stop. Things have got to stop, and the American people, the American people, God help you, you need to rise up, you need to make a stand. Every American patriot has to stand up for the Constitution. It's not about Republicans, it's not about Democrats, it's about the American Constitution and the freedom that that Constitution gives every black, white, yellow, green American. And that Constitution needs to be defended by every American who believes in freedom, and it has to be defended now. And these kangaroo courts that have just been set up to silence medical professionals in America, and probably will be happening in UK and other Western nations, these kangaroo courts need to be stamped on, and they need. President Donald Trump is in the battle of his life. He is in the fight of his life, and he needs every American patriot behind him and backing him solidly, man to man, woman to woman. Every American needs to get behind him and stand with him right now, because he needs your back. He's trying to watch your back, our back, the free world's back. You've got to watch his back. Every American has to stand behind this president and protect him and help him as best they can, because this is absolutely disgraceful what's happening in America and in the West. God bless you.